Ben White to Arsenal is approaching its final stages. Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is all but done with an announcement imminent. That and many, many more transfer rumors that we're going to discuss, debunk, rate, and of course, give you the chance to have your say on right now on the next done deal. Hit that like and share button. Here we go. Good morning and welcome back to the Football Terrace. Lots of transfer rumors every single day, fluctuating. Different journalists have different opinions. And of course, the level of trust we have in particular transfer experts varies from person to person. Fabrizio Romano being looked at as generally in God tier, but even himself, he'll go from 1 minute being the absolute hero, the next minute he is the tap-in merchant that nobody can stand and everybody's annoyed with, and everything else in between. There are lots of stories that are circulating today. And of course, Euro 2020 returns with the knockout games later. We'll be live after both matches for you to give you the instant reaction to those games. But I wanted to spend a bit of time this morning talking about these transfer deals, where I personally see them, giving you the chance to give your opinions on them. But also, are they as close as people are making them out to be across social media? Where are they exactly? What are the experts saying? What are people in the know saying about these deals? Of course, we saw a prime example of this yesterday. Jack Grealish. It was reported by Jim White, by Sky, by the Daily Mail, by TalkSport, and by a number of other publications that Man City had advanced talks very quickly with Aston Villa, and that the deal was close to being agreed within a few hours. And even this morning, some tweets and some information from Fabrizio Romano have said that there's still nothing advanced or agreed for Jack Grealish. He says Man City are strongly interested in signing him, but no talks ongoing with Aston Villa as of today. Now, for a lot of people, that's it. Well, it means no deal's going on. It means the news before it is false. However, are we really ignoring the fact that semantics are at play with a lot of this? Have City officially spoke with Aston Villa? That could be a fact. They haven't. Manchester United have been negotiating for the majority of the summer this Jaden Sancho deal, but the majority has been through intermediaries. They only go officially to the club when they're ready to submit a real bid. It's a little bit like Chelsea. Chelsea worked very hard to try and sign Hakimi. Two major factors got in the way. The first, that Paris Saint-Germain were willing to spend 80 million euros cash up front, where Chelsea were only willing to part with 50. But equally, the situation with Alonso, this hasn't been widely reported on, but Alonso and his representatives are also talking to Barcelona. There could be an opportunity for Marcos Alonso to return to Spain, which is more favorable to him. The delay in that element of the deal is one of the reasons why PSG got the hop on Chelsea. But to protect Chelsea, protect their club, they never officially submitted any bid directly into Inter Milan, although it was widely reported that they did. And this is what happens. Semantics is often at play. So I want to go through as many of these questions with you as I can today. You can pose your questions in. We've got one that's come through here that says, I'm going waiting on the Sancho deal. I don't know what you mean by that. I thought you meant what's going on. Maybe you meant there. A few people are like, what's going on? I'm going grey waiting for it. What's going on with the Sancho deal? So we're going to start like that. We're going to go through each of those deals. I'm going to give you what I've read and what I know. I want you to express your opinions as well. I'm going to share the link to phone in into the description below and into the live comment section. So if you want to phone up and if you want to have your say on these transfers, make sure you are getting that done now. Any obviously member chats and super chats we will prioritize as we always do, so we'll always put them forward first. Let's start off with Jaden Sancho, because I know everybody is eager to understand what's going on with that, and it's really, really simple. Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund have come to an agreement on the base fee. This is now going to be around 90 million euros. On today's exchange rate, that's about 77 million pounds. It's a tremendous deal from Manchester United's point of view in terms of the monetary sum and, of course, signing one of the best up-and-coming players in the world. There are still some finer details being reviewed by all three sets of lawyers. So there'll be the representatives of Jaden Sancho and lawyers from both Dortmund and Manchester United, essentially ensuring that all I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and the deal stacks up. There are a few elements to do with the structure of the payments and, of course, the add-ons that still need to be officially finalized, but they've got themselves into a situation where that's very, very close. What's highly likely to happen with this deal is that there will be a holding announcement that an agreement has been reached between the two football clubs. The actual signing and completing of the deal will take place after the Euros. That's what the majority of experts think as of now. Now, we could all get a shock and actually see a proper announcement done prior to that. Is there a chance of that happening? Absolutely. But all likely it is over the next 2 to 3 days, the lawyers, and that you always nearly see a lull and a quiet moment in the build up to a here we go, in the build up to an agreement being announced. That's when the legal teams are reviewing all aspects and also reviewing the contracts that are being put in place, because a lot of the agreements, as we know, are done through intermediaries and are done verbally until this point. When you actually get the contract in front of you, and you should all do this in your lives, no matter what a company offers you verbally, read through the fine print of a contract to make sure you're not tying yourselves into anything crazy. So that's where the Jaden Sancho deal is right now. It's in a very, very good place indeed. Man United fans can just relax. It's just done. It's just formalities now going to be completed, going to be done and put over the line. Man United are picking up for a lot cheaper than they initially thought they were going to, even this summer by between 5 to 10 million pounds. It's a tremendous piece of business. Of course, we wanted it done a year earlier, but it's in a very good place. And that's kind of universally agreed on. When you look at a lot of the tier ones and a lot of the very credible journalists, that's my interpretation of the story based on 5 or 6 variations that sound very similar to that. So you kind of Jan Fjørtoft and Fabrizio and Christian Falk and Dean Jones and whoever else. It's all reporting it slightly different, but that's the basic crux. The story is very, very similar around that. That's my understanding of where things are right now. It's in a very, very good place indeed. Thank you very much to my guy here, Josh, for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. It means a great deal. He signed up to become an Academy member. Really do appreciate the love and the support. Thank you very much. Oral Campbell, good morning to you. Hope you are well, my friend. Hope you are well. Star-Lord here. Well, this is an interesting one to jump into. Mbappe to Liverpool. Listen, I don't even want to be disrespectful when it comes to this, but Mbappe to Liverpool is a deal that is simply not happening. It is simply not happening. It's just, there is almost, I would say there's a 5% chance. We're going to give it a percentage out of 100 of Mbappe to Liverpool this summer, about 5%. It's so widely reported that he prefers a move to Real Madrid. Liverpool have to sell a big star before they can get it done, and Real Madrid do not. It's something I think Liverpool fans need to forget about. I think Liverpool fans right now need to completely and utterly forget about any chance of this happening. I think Liverpool may be used as a bit of a pawn by some outlets, by agents, to try and maybe make the Spanish giants move quicker. But Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid is where it's at right now. There is almost zero chance of that happening. Do me a big favor, everyone who's tuning in, and make sure you're smashing that like button for us, please. Also, sign up to our Twitch account that's newly set up. The link for that is in the description below. Let's go through some more of these deals. So you've also got the Ben White deal. Now, the Ben White deal is in its final stages. There was a report yesterday, I believe, from The Sun, who said Arsenal haven't actually gone back in with a £50 million bid. They've had a £45 million bid rejected. That seemed to infuriate some Arsenal fans. Again, I wouldn't be concerned. I wouldn't be angry. I wouldn't be annoyed. You're going to pay around £50 million. You're just negotiating this deal out right now. It's approaching the home straight. Idealistically, Arsenal want to try and get this deal agreed at some point in the next 7 days. Ben White doesn't really need to be included in that. He wants to join Arsenal. He wants to be there. It could still protrude beyond the next 7 to 10 days. There's no doubt about it. Arsenal, of course, working hard to get the Lokonga deal finished. We know that a week ago when we had Christophe Terrace on the Terrace, that deal was fine. That deal was in a good space. He was still away on holiday for 10 days, and 10 days have still not passed. So it was always going to be delayed for a short period of time. Ben White and Lokonga to Arsenal, they're in the driving seat for them. Nobody else at this point is doing any work around trying to sign them. They want to be Arsenal players. The deals are approaching the final stages, and it's another one where Arsenal fans can just relax. They can maybe even start focusing on a few other deals because they've got those in the bag. There's no rush to get Ben White. There's no rush to get the Lokonga deal over the line due to the circumstances with the players. The fact the players want to join them, they're in very, very good spaces as far as I'm concerned. They don't appear right now to be deals that are going to fall through. But of course, the world can change at the drop of a hat. Maybe an Arsenal target in midfield becomes available. They want more than Lokonga. Maybe a better centre-back suddenly becomes available. However, at this moment in time, final stages are being prepared. Final elements of negotiations over fees are being dealt with. Both of those deals are very, very close to being announced and being completed. Let's go through a few more of these comments that are coming through here. Ben White isn't worth 50 million, maybe 20 to 25 at most is what's been said here. Listen, the market is the market. You almost can't get away from that in so many ways. You almost can't get away from that. Terry, what is an acceptable first season for Sancho at United? That is a great question, Twisted. That is a great, great question. If I look at him as an individual, so I can't look at team achievements when judging an individual per se. If we look at it from an point of view, I would say across all competitions, if he gets, I would expect at least 20 to 25 goal contributions. That's the standard. I've got very high standards for Jaden Sancho. I think he can come in and do that for the football club in terms of scoring and or assisting. Outside of that, I expect a lot of creation per game. I'm looking at a player to create at least 2 chances for Manchester United per game, pretty much maintaining his average from the Bundesliga. He is a highly creative, highly skillful, highly technical player. He can dribble, he can pass, he can move, he can use both feet, he can play left, he can play right, he can play through the center. I expect very big things from Jaden Sancho. There is no doubt about it. In terms of influence on games, it's a very hard one to judge because everybody views the game differently. I might think he's having a very impactful game and others think he isn't. So I'll look at it this way. I want him to play when fit. I think when a player is influential because they play a lot of games. And for me, I would expect to see him in that team 80% of, when I say important games, I discount away against Lincoln City in the League Cup. Dead rubbers in the Champions League. I don't count them in the percentage. But when it comes to decisive games, which is the majority of Premier League games, knockout cup competition games, you will see him, and I expect him to be in around 80% of those starting lineups without fail. There may be some rotation that's needed. That's the kind of influence I think Jaden Sancho is going to have. Let's go here to some of the super chats that have come through this morning. First one is from Rachel. Thank you very much, Rachel. She says, are there any reports coming in from reliable sources about us possibly getting Varane from Real Madrid? Rachel, there is. So Miguel Delaney is one individual that is reported on this being a case. And Miguel Delaney, for The Independent, is someone that I don't agree with all of his opinions on football. And what you'll find, Rachel, with a lot of football fans is they often discount the credibility or the access that a journalist may have, and they judge the person themselves. Where Fabrizio Romano is astounding. He's a very smart man. He's very nice to every club. He doesn't banter any club. He doesn't do opinion pieces during the season on how good or bad a team is at playing football. It's just strictly the best information he can provide around transfer dealings or situations at clubs. But he's always very respectful to every club. So people like him. If he started doing opinion pieces and he spent a whole season casing into Chelsea, a lot of Chelsea fans just wouldn't like him. So they would dismiss a lot of what he says. Now, Miguel Delaney has reported on this, that Raphael Varane wants to come to Manchester United. The stumbling block is very much a £400,000 a week salary demand that has come in from Raphael Varane. And that's the difficult one. That's the difficult stuff that block for Man United, because they can't rush in with this deal anyway. So it's one of the deals on our list to discuss, because it's very hard to get anything agreed and done and announced before the end of the Euros. France are highly likely to go right to the end. So at least until the 12th of July, this deal will not progress any further. Manchester United also need to offset some of their current playing staff to raise the funds to be able to pay him £400,000 per week. There's, of course, the competition from other teams. Paris Saint-Germain are heavily involved. And I think we're going to see a situation with Raphael Varane very similar to Hakimi. First of all, Real Madrid are going to accept an offer, the highest offer they can for the player. So if Man United get gazumped, we only have right now, the money that Man United have available to sign a player like him is probably £50 million tops. If they know they can get him, knowing they get the massive encouragement, they are, of course, looking to move Phil Jones on. Eric Bailly may still be sold this summer. There are some interested clubs across the continent, namely Villarreal, and potentially a return for Eric Bailly. The savings of salaries from the likes of Eric Bailly and Phil Jones leaving will generate the money for Manchester United to be able to pay Raphael for around the £400,000 a week he wants. It isn't close to being a done deal between the clubs. It isn't close to being a total agreement in place or an announcement made by any of the football clubs. But is it credible that Man United want him? Yes. Is it credible that Real Madrid may let him go this summer? Absolutely. Is it credible that he would join Manchester United? Yes. But would he join PSG? Yes. Would he join Chelsea? Yes. So it isn't a one-horse race, essentially, for Man United in terms of this deal. Thank you very much for that question. And that super chat, Rachel, means a great deal to us here. We're going to go to the next one that came through. This was from Mr. Tricks here. Long time no see, Mr. Tricks. Says, as a Chelsea fan, fans need to relax. The window has only been open for 2 weeks, and there's still around 2.5 months left of the window. Chelsea are notoriously late bidders. The reason that the Hakimi deal didn't go through is because you've got other plans. You've got a massive plan this summer to try and land Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is up for joining Chelsea. He would like to pay for Chelsea. He would like to be managed by Thomas Tuchel. There was no way you were parting with 80 million euros cash. 80 million euros cash. You were never going to do that this summer when making this pursuit for Haaland. The only position that Chelsea desperately need is a prolific number 9. Every other position is covered. You have quality there in depth already. Dropping 80 mil cash up front for Hakimi isn't great business. 50 plus getting Alonso off your books would have been amazing. Now, the interesting element with this when it comes to Chelsea is a report that was released yesterday. It's gone so far under the radar. It's unbelievable Chelsea fans haven't picked up on this. Barcelona are heavily interested in Alonso, and Alonso is interested in returning to Spain. Why would he not? He is Spanish. Makes sense. Maybe that's more appealing to him. As I've said many times on this show, swap deals are almost impossible at times because of reasons like this. Inter Milan needed the money. They had secured creditors that needed paying. They needed the cash. That's why the Alonso element of this deal was slowing it up. They wanted him, absolutely. But with him looking elsewhere and his agents looking at alternatives, it was almost impossible to get this done as quickly as Paris Saint-Germain could get it agreed and done by pushing that 80 million euros in. There is then the conundrum for Inter Milan. No one quite knows exactly how much they need to pay back to their bank. No one quite knows this. To have 80 million euros cash sitting in their bank account from a wire transfer from PSG may have been more attractive than 50 million euros and a new player, because maybe the 50 million euros wasn't enough to pay their debt back. So that seems like the priority over there at Inter Milan right now. But if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be very relaxed. There's very likely to be a bid at some point going in for Haaland. And remember, not all bids are official. Not all bids are official. Chelsea will do all their bidding through intermediaries, and then if it doesn't go through, you'll see the likes of Fabrizio say, well, no formal bid was ever made. That protects everybody from feeling a little bit hurt and feeling rejected and everything else. But essentially, Chelsea are working towards that deal. I would be relaxed if I was a Chelsea fan. There's no doubt about it. And if you can't get Haaland, then some of that money will be siphoned off, and you may then look towards new defenders, Jules Koundé is a player that yourselves and Tottenham are looking at. Man United have looked at him as well. We reported on the Terrace back in April about Jules Koundé, and I remember being shot down for that, saying, no way, you're making the rumour up, Terry. I had people really casing into me on that one. But you're one of the front runners for him. There is a Declan Rice situation with Chelsea as well. You're not going to make any inroads into that until you know what's happening with the Haaland deal. Because if you sign Haaland for £150 million, it is almost impossible for Chelsea to then go and drop 70, 80 million pounds on any other player without making multiple sales. It's hard to make the sales right now because so many of the players that Chelsea have that are on the chopping block are either at the Euros or on holiday, or their agents are very, very busy with other clients who are also at Euros. So there's lots going on. It slows things down. I would relax if I was a Chelsea fan. There's no doubt about it. Thank you very much, by the way, to, I didn't see it. The name now eludes me. It's gone off my screen. We had a new member that signed up. There it is, Nick Thomas. Thank you very, very much for signing up and becoming an official academy member of the Football Terrace. That means a great deal to us. We're going to go to some more of your questions in a minute, but let's go through some of these other deals that are going on at the minute. The Raphael Varane one. Let's talk about Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish to Chelsea, to Man City was such an interesting one yesterday. Big reports from Jim White in the morning that talks had advanced between the clubs. It had moved very, very quickly. £100 million bid was made. It almost felt like the bells and whistles and the announcements were going to be made yesterday. We reported on it straight away. By the afternoon and this morning, of course, Fabrizio Romano has come out and kind of played this down somewhat. And this is what Fabrizio Romano has said to this about an hour ago. He went, there's nothing advanced or agreed with Jack Grealish. Man City is strongly interested in signing him, but no talks ongoing with Aston Villa as of today. I love how he words it. It's so, honestly, I'd love to speak to Fabrizio. I want to know whether he trained as a lawyer because the way he words things is impeccable. He says, Man City board considers complicated to sign both Grealish and Harry Kane. In that whole paragraph, I see so many things where I'm like, this is politics at play. No talks ongoing with Villa. Ongoing means continual or directly with Villa. You can speak to an intermediary. Have City advanced via an intermediary? Do they think they know they can get the player for around £100 million and are they prepared to spend it? Yes. It's being played down, though. It's being played down now for a reason, I think. Man City consider it difficult to sign both Grealish and Kane. Of course it is, because even City have to balance their books. Dropping £230 million in fees plus salary. What is it? Half a bill? £600 million investment over a 5-year period? That's a lot of money. They've also got to look at two things before they advance these deals, which is why I think they've pushed the news out to say, slow this down because we're slowing it down. They need the news cycle to slow so they can work quietly behind the scenes. They can't sign both these players without having other players leave. It's impossible from a financial standpoint and from a squad perspective. If they can only sign one, most people think they're going to prioritize Harry Kane. So why would they just sign Grealish now when they haven't really tested the waters? We haven't seen the transfer request go in yet from Harry Kane because he's away on England duty concentrating. This is a deal where I think information was leaked prematurely and in too much of a gun-ho way. That's what I think with this deal. I think most of what we read yesterday was true to a point, but I don't think Man City wanted that news coming out in the way they did. So I think a bit of work has been done. They fed into some credible journalists to try and slow the process down. That's my reading of the situation, the way I look at it, because it went from one extreme to the other. And I think Jack Grealish and both Harry Kane are on the radar of City. They sign both if they can get rid of Bernardo Silva and one other top star. One other top star. Maybe it's Mahrez, maybe it's Raheem Sterling. If both those things can happen, then I think they go after both. If they can't find a suitor for those players and they have to keep them, it may only be one. I think they'll prioritize Harry Kane. They can't get Harry Kane. They may leave it until the following summer where they might go in for Haaland, and then they may go for the Jack Grealish and look at what they work on from there. But I think the news came out very prematurely yesterday. I think it came out very gung-ho, very, very, very much done deal-like. And I think it made a few people at Man City a little bit, hang on a minute, let's slow down a minute here. You know, let's not act like we've got all the money in the world to spend, although we all know you've got all the money in the world to spend, and they've slowed things down somewhat. Let's get some more of your comments that are coming through here. Bernardo will be sold to Atletico Madrid, then Grealish deal gets done. And that's very, very true. You know, they want to work. They want to work on these things as best they can. Let's look at a few more of these comments here. If you're talking to each other, I'll just leave you guys to it. If you're chatting to me, then we'll speak. Man like Ziad watching while he's at work. Top guy. We have opened up the lines, by the way. We have shared the link in the comment section below. Also, I mentioned signing up to our Twitch account, which would be amazing. Also, please make sure you're signing up to our Discord server as well. A little quiet in the Discord at the minute because there isn't club football going on, but get yourselves in there, keep things moving forward. We are going to be looking for the new moderators and for people to create some really good content in the Discord server very, very soon. So make sure you're over there, Q&As and whatnot that we're going to set up to happen for you. Star-Lord here says, if Chelsea drop 150 million on Haaland, Dortmund will sell both Haaland and Sancho. I believe that to be true, and that's purely a gut feeling. That isn't knowledge that I have or somebody that I've spoken to. I think when you offer that kind of money, you can always get deals done. You can always get things over the line. I truly believe that that is a very, very doable deal. In terms of the Harry Kane and Tottenham situation, I want to touch on that very quickly as well. Spurs are currently now in talks with Nuno Espirito Santo to try and bring him in to White Hart Lane next season. It remains to be seen whether that gets done or not. Nobody knows. Legitimately, even the most decorated and respected Tottenham journalists have absolutely no idea what's going on. And that's because Tottenham don't have any idea what's going on. I wouldn't be surprised if they get rejected or walk away from that deal. I wouldn't be surprised if Peditici quits. I wouldn't be surprised about anything. I wouldn't be right now. Nothing would surprise me with the way Tottenham are operating. I think it's a situation that's almost impossible to judge. I think it's a situation that's almost impossible to call. Whenever I see journalists talking about it now, they're just sitting, if you could see their faces, they're just sitting there doing this. I don't know. That seems to be, that's the interpretation I get from what's going on there. It's an absolute mess, is what I would say about that situation right about now. A comment here from Kick 442 we've had on the channel before. I think Patson Daka, is he announced now? Has he been announced now as a Leicester player? Is that official announcement come out? I'm not too sure if it's been officially announced, but it's on its way to come in. Let's go to some more of your live comments that are coming through here. Get any questions you want to put into me. Member chats and super chats, of course, we prioritize them as a massive thank you and homage to all of the people at Terrace. Ben White bid rejected. Where are you getting that news from? Where are you getting that news from, bro? I've read that, but I read that in the Sun, so I don't give it too much credence if I'm being honest. Terry creates some merch. Watch this space. We also have some new shows in development with the Football Terrace, and I am keeping my lips sealed because there are a lot of tea leaves. There are a lot of thieves on social media that steal your ideas. I see, you know what I mean? It's they steal your flow. They steal a lot of things. So I'm not going to announce the way these new deals are going to be structured, but merchandise is on its way. Brand new styles of watch-alongs that nobody else in the world is currently doing are on their way. Max reaction shows like nobody else. There's a new show in the offer for Friday nights in development. If you're part of our Legends and Superfan group and our WhatsApp group, by the way, still 20 Superfan and I think about 20 people from the Legends and Superfan crew that haven't joined the private WhatsApp groups available. That's on the way. What I will be scheduling in for Monday as well is a member-only live Q&A and video. That should be at some point on Monday in the afternoon. We're going to do that. So that will be scheduled in. So you'll all see that if you remember very, very soon as well. And the other elements in terms of the perks, they're all in development. So the scarves are just being finalized now with the company to make them for us. Merchandise, which of course all members get discounts on, are on the way. Plus we are in talks with a couple of locations and venues to host our first ever Football Terrace away day events. Again, anybody from first team member and above, you'll be getting early access and early warning of where that's going to be. All our super fans and legend members as well, you're going to get the opportunity to be in and on a number of our shows moving forward. We're not going to tell you what we've got planned for you because, again, I'm not having the ideas stolen by bigger by bigger channels and then we're left with egg on our faces. But it's all on the way. Cannot wait to bring that all to you. Very, very excited about the future of the Football Terrace. Milan Williams here says, Terry, were United this close to signing Jaden Sancho last year? Such a great question. No. Man United believe they were. And that's because Ed Woodward and Matt Judge put their faith in the wrong intermediaries. They put their faith in the wrong information. They had bad due diligence. Last year, a lot of people are kicking off. Oh, we didn't sign them last year, so this year the shine's taken off of it. I understand that notion. But what you're forgetting is different people, different process, different thoughts, different football people running these relationships now for Manchester United. Does that undo the mistakes from the Glazers and the board, Woodward as well, from previous years? Of course it doesn't. Those things happened. But the transfer element is now under new management. So in terms of being close last year, Milan, Woodward and co believed that the deadline wasn't real and they could submit, and they did submit a £100 million bid in the last week of the transfer window, and it was simply turned down and rejected. We then rushed through other targets that had been targets all summer because we didn't land Jaden Sancho. Abysmal way to run things. Put our faith in the wrong information. This year, Myrtle and Fletcher have worked very, very closely with Dortmund, with the agents, with the intermediaries. They have listened to what's been said rather than making up their own interpretations. They've spoke to the right people to get the right information, because this summer, the report all along has been confidence between all parties. Man United knew they could still drive the price down further, but actually get it accepted. And it's fine to drive down a price if you actually get your player in the time frame of which you want them. So from a Man United point of view, we're a year late signing Jaden Sancho, I would say. But from Myrtle and Fletcher's perspective, this is right first time. And you can exclude the two from one another, because if you're an employee at a company and your departments run like trash, and then you take over running that department and you get it running well, you as the new manager shouldn't be punished for somebody else's mistakes, your predecessor's mistakes, right? So with Fletcher and Myrtle, I'm very happy with what they have done. Still frustrated we didn't get him last year, but I can judge both those situations differently because they are not the same. They're not run by the same people now, and we've got it done. So we were never this close to getting him last year. But we believe we were, because Woodward and Cole told us. This year, they've not been involved at all in terms of the relationship building, the negotiating, and the conversations with Dortmund, and things have gone swimmingly. Things have gone absolutely swimmingly. So it's early days. There's not, one swallow does not. Is it one swallow or one swith does not a summer make? I'm not saying the transfer policy at United is now being run perfectly. It isn't. But it's a good step in the right direction. No doubt about that whatsoever. We have another member that signed up here. My guy, Wayne, welcome. And thank you for becoming a legend and super fan of the Football Terrace. That means a great deal to us that you've signed up to that today, my friend. Thank you very, very much indeed. If you go onto the community page, Wayne, and just go through it, about 5 or 6 posts ago, you'll see the link to join our private WhatsApp group. So go and get yourselves in there. Go and say hello. Everyone's very nice in there. We were having a good little chat last night. I showed everybody. I cooked the best little barbecue last night. Some steak, some sausage, fried the eggs on the barbecue. It was good. It's a good night last night. Thank you here for this super chat. Eden Hazard or Park Ji-sung in the Champions League final? It depends who we're playing and what we need. But we did have another super chat, by the way, and that's disappeared off my screen because I didn't get round to it fast enough. Where's it gone? Here it is. It's from Rachel again, actually. Have I missed it, Rachel? I think it might. The one thing with StreamYard, it pushes it away. I can't put it on the screen, but I've got it here. It says, in my opinion, both Kane and Son are wasting their careers at Tottenham and need to go out, get out of here as soon as they can. Rachel, I completely and utterly agree with you. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. I absolutely agree with you 110%. Breaking news, it has just been announced, I believe. I'm going to go check if this is true. Rafa Benitez, has he been announced as the new Everton manager? No way. Has he? Rafa Benitez is going to be confirmed next week. Keith Downey has just announced that from Sky Sports. If that is true, that is gargantuan. Liverpool's Champions League winning manager. Liverpool's second best manager in the Premier League era. One of Liverpool's best managers of all time. Top 4 managers in Liverpool history. Top 4 managers in Liverpool history. Going to Everton. Wow. Wow. Top 4. Top 4. One of the biggest managers in the history of Liverpool Football Club's history. Wow. Wow. That is huge. That is huge. I'd love to speak to Liverpool fans about that. If you want to phone up and have your say, we're going to start going to your calls right about now. We're going to post that link again in the comment section below. Go and get that done. Go and get that done. That is a madness. Terry, don't be disrespectful. How am I being disrespectful? To who? Some of you say some really, really weird things to me, and I never really understand them. It is not disrespectful to say one of the greatest managers in Liverpool's history. Liverpool have won 6 European Cups, and he's the manager that won one of them. Yeah, he won one. It's and that's Liverpool's history right there. Massive. When did Everton last win a trophy? Honestly, I don't know. It must have been in the I swear in the 90s they won a trophy. Let's have a little look. Let's have a little look here. Everton honours. There we go. Have a little look here. When's the last time? They must have won something in the 90s. The last won the league. Yeah, they won the FA Cup in 1995. That's it. Last League Cup was 1984. I wasn't born then. The last league they won was in 1987. I was 2. It's a long time ago. That's a long, long time ago. We've got Amin on the show now that's going to come and have his say with us. Amin, welcome back to the Football Terrace. What do you want to speak about, my friend?
Hey, Terry. Okay, so last time I came on, I was very, a bit reactionary with the Ben White deal, but, I had a few days to think about it and, gather my thoughts. So the reason why I was really upset with the Ben White deal was because, a centre back, I look at and I think that, we need a right back, a centre mid, and a cam and a CDM, which are way more important than we need a centre back. Okay, so now we spent 50 million on Ben White, right? And with the past years of our history, it's still the same owner, right? So fans shouldn't forget that. I know there's been a lot of, rumors going around that we have a very high transfer budget, but, we hear the same stuff every year. So I'm assuming that, with the past years of history, we have around usually 100 million transfer budget. That's without selling players. And the rest of the money comes with player sales, right? So what worries me with this Ben White deal is because that is a big chunk of our transfer budget gone. And now when I look at the player sales, for example, right, Granit Xhaka, most fans would argue that he was one of the most crucial players that we had in our season, this season that just went. But he is only going for around 17 million euros. And then that's a worry because if Granit Xhaka, one of the most crucial players we had last season, is only going for 17 million euros, how much would that generate, with other sales, like players like Matteo Guendouzi, he's only rumored to be going for 10 million. And Hector Bellerin, would you even get 20 million for him? So, at the end of you selling the players, would you even hit 70 million altogether by selling 5 players? And the reason why I judge the summer window, I judge it every signing and not at the end of the summer window, is because it's the same cycle, right? Fans would say, oh, let's judge the summer window till it finishes, okay? So now, once it does fail, which it usually does, then the next phase is let's back the team. So we all back the team, and usually collapses again near January time. So now fans, the next saying is let's wait for the January transfer window. The January transfer window comes, we sign no one again, and it's the same cycle. Let's wait for the summer window. It's the same cycle. And I remember KJ said something about with Brighton that if we sign Ben White, it could be seen as a building relationship. But you can see as another way of Brighton might look at this deal, right? Okay, so for them, they probably value that Bissouma is more important than Ben White. So they could be like, okay, you gave us 50 million for Ben White, but Bissouma is more important than us. Okay, now we want 70 million for Bissouma. So you could have practically ruled out a move again for Bissouma. And Another thing with our selling players is that the only players that do have around 20 million value is players like Lacazette and Leno. But the problem with these players like Lacazette is that he's on such high wages that no one can afford to sign him. And another one with Leno is that you just sold Martinez. So if you go and sell Leno on the next summer window, you just made yourself look like you just made yourself look even more stupid than you already are. And though another reason why I think that we have less money than the rumored 200 million is because a journalist of Chris Sweetley, he said that once we sign Ben White and that lokonga guy, that the next priority is to sell players. Now this can be seen in two ways. He said that we have no money and we have to generate more money, or that we need to free up some wages. And with the past history, I think it's the first one, that we don't have much money. And this club, for me, just doesn't make sense. Like the Mavropanos deal, right? I know we sold him, okay? But what worries me with the Mavropanos deal is that we gave this guy a contract last summer, okay? And it was to protect his value. We sold him only for £5 million. We could have sold someone like Rob Holding or Callum Chambers for probably double the price. I would have rather kept Mavropanos and sold someone like Callum Chambers. So that's my feeling on the club.
So I totally understand where you're coming from. I do. I would just say, reserve your anger until after the fact. I would say reserve your frustration until after you know what's going on, because your club is trying to do good business, and you're always going to have a situation where, I look at Man United fans right now. Let's take it to my club for a minute. So a lot of them are very, very angry and very, very frustrated that Martial could be on his way out. Oh, but why are we getting rid of him? And everybody keeps ignoring the elephant in the room. And that's Martial might want to leave. Maybe he doesn't want to go back to being an inside forward. Mavropanos may want to leave more than, say, Rob Holding. Rob Holding might think, no one really... Like, Mavropanos is a case of, do you know what? I don't want to be behind Saliba. I don't want to be behind Ben White. I don't want to be behind Gabriel. I want to go to a club that wants to put me in the lineup. Well, you might have Rob Holding that's sitting there thinking, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy to sit here and just be a kind of a backup player. So that changes the scenario for Arsenal. Arsenal do have a fairly large transfer budget this summer. Also remember, though, that you're not spending £50 million up front. It's probably only going to cost you between 12 to 13, maybe a push 14 to 15 million pounds year one for these players. The majority of transfers are paid for via installments. So don't think, look, we've got £150 million budget, that 50 million has just disappeared out of your bank account straight away. Doesn't quite work like that. But I do get and respect your concerns there. Amin, thank you for calling in again, mate, and having your say. And we'll speak to you again soon. Top man. Thank you. Little here says, how do I become a Superfan member? We've pinned the link to join as a member to the live comment section. If you want to sign up now and become an official member of the Football Terrace, please click on that link. I want to say a massive thank you to Abdullah for renewing his academy membership with the Football Terrace. That means a great deal to us that you've signed up to that. Thank you very, very much indeed. Academy membership starts from as little as 99p per month. Thank you very much, sir, for doing that. It means a great deal to us. Abdullah Irwan, thank you very much indeed. Also here, it's Lewis has signed up and become an official first team member of the Football Terrace. That's amazing. Thank you. April here has signed up and become a legend and super fan. Again, same message to you. Go to our community page. You'll see the link there, the invitation link to join our private WhatsApp group. Let's see if you've actually done that already, actually. Let me just scan and see if that's been done already. It may have been done already. You may have already signed up. See if we've got any new members that have joined the WhatsApp group today. Who's in here? Who's saying out? Someone's joined. I don't know who you are. Yes, there you go. I'm going to say, well, I'm just going to type in and say, welcome. Welcome to the group. Put a few little emojis in there. Hello, 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 hello. What I'll do, just in case you don't think it's real, I'm going to send a little video in while we're in there. So I'm sending this while we're live on the Football Terrace, recording it on the phone as everyone can see. Hope you're good. Thank you for joining the Superfan and Legends private members group of the Football Terrace. Lots of videos, lots of content we're going to put in here for you. I'll keep you up to date with everything going on in the Terrace, and you get a lot of access to behind the scenes stuff, especially with our new show starting. So we'll make a lot of posts in this private group each and every single day. So that video is now posted in that group. just for anyone who isn't live watching this right now. Thank you. We had another sign up to membership here. Thank you here as well to, I can't read that name because the writing is very, very small. It's Deshane Coates. Thank you very much, an Arsenal fan, for becoming a first team member of the Football Terrace. Thank you very much for doing that. Wayne here, the super chat says, Terry, I want to say thank you to you and to the Football Terrace panel. Loads of respect to you guys. Listen, Wayne, it's our privilege and my honor to bring these shows to you. And part of the big reason for the growth of this channel is to keep you involved. And again, I don't want to say too much live on the internet because people take what we say and they run it themselves. So much of what we've got planned is for you all. So much of what we've got planned is going to get you involved. You know, this isn't about, oh, I'm going to be a big superstar YouTuber. I'm the star. It's not about that. It's about you, the viewers. Trust me, what we've got coming, what's in development. It's going to start off slowly, but it's going to be gargantuan, and you're going to be at the forefront of it. No worries, my guy, Abdul. No worries. Thank you for signing up, brother. This is Deshane, who signed up and become a first team member today. Thank you. Gunnar King says, is there a link to jump on with? There is, my brother. There is, my brother. I'm going to post the link again in the live comment section. You should see it there. What I should probably just do for these links is post them in the description. And I'm going to post it in the description as well now. I've saved that into the description. So if you hit that like, if you just refresh your stream, it should be in the description for you as well, if you can't see it in the live comment section. Twisted Bubba, this channel, I respect you guys and the panel. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much indeed. Man was right. Yeah, my barbecue was looking good last night. And Gunnar King, listen, you had 5 guys last night. So we all chat now. We're all friends in the WhatsApp. Man had these 5 guys last night, was chilling on his balcony. It looked slick. Both new Super Chat members have joined. Wayne has joined. Nice to see you all in the WhatsApp group over there. Twisted Bubble with a comment here says, Terry, why don't Chelsea offer Dortmund 100 million for Haaland now and loan him straight back? They need him as a striker. I mean, that could be an option to do a pre-contract agreement, maybe. But I think their first point of call is to try and sign him and bring him in and make him a first team player straight away. Thank you, Raul, for signing up and becoming an official first team member of the Football Terrace. A massive welcome to you. How do I get WhatsApp? You just need the app. And if you become a legend and super fan, one of the perks to that is access to the group. Once you become a super fan, you go to our community page and there's a post that no one else can see, only legends and super fans, and the invitation link is there for the WhatsApp group. That's how you do it, David. If you want to become a member, if that's something that you'd like to do, the link for that is in our live comment section. Abdullah on a reel. We got this. Things are changing this season at Arsenal. Listen, I'm so intrigued to see what's happening at Arsenal this season. I truly, truly am. Jaylings fam says, if Martial and Donny go out, I will be angry at Ollie. Martial is highly likely to leave. I think Man United, whether you're happy or sad about it, expect it. It should be an expectation for you now that he goes, that he leaves, that he isn't going to be a Manchester United player come, maybe not the start of the season, but by September, he may not be a Manchester United player. Now, Donny van der Beek, at this moment in time, as far as I understand it, I spoke with, obviously, I've had 3 or 4 top journalists on the show, speak to a number of them behind the scenes. I've not seen anything from a credible tier 1. The agent of Donny says he's staying. The likelihood of Donny van der Beek leaving is very, very low at this point. However, if we sign Declan Rice and we sign up Pogba to a new deal, maybe that changes things for Donny as an individual and he pushes to leave. So things may change, but let's wait and see what happens in relation to that. Original Base Annie says, why does Twisted always sound like he's shouting? I think Twisted Bubba just shouts a lot in general in life, to be fair. That's what I think. That's what I think there. This Jen says, I hope our transfer window is solid. Yeah, well, I think everybody hopes and feels that that's the case, if that makes sense. Like, I do hope. I think that happens quite a bit. There we go. I'm just doing this here. Some of my members are so funny. A lot of member chat. So another one of the perks is that we're going to start doing, and I need to get on top of this for you as members, is like priority responses into the priority chat responses that I need to start doing for you all. I actually also need to go in. They hold. So, do you know, man, YouTube now holds so many comments for review. It's unbelievable. Sometimes I have like 70 or 80 comments just for review, and it's because of words people use that they pick up as being like bad words. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. The amount of them that people do. Okay. Anyway, I'll do a bit more of that later. I won't do the admin while I'm live on the air with you all. Let's do some of these comments here. Let's have a little look. Arsenal are considered a big club because we have a lot of domestic trophies. Yeah, you are a big club. There's no doubt. Terry moving like Fabrizio at this point. No, I'm not. I don't ever claim to know what's going on, as in directly. I just speak to people that maybe know and give their opinions. Just join the WhatsApp. Oh, thank you very much, Shane. Top man. Thank you for doing that. It means a great deal to us. And you're watching on our Twitch channel, which is amazing to us as well, because obviously we're trying to grow the Twitch channel as well. What we're probably going to do as well is set something up on Twitch in terms of the subscribers, because I don't understand Twitch. I haven't spent any time focusing on it really. So with Twitch, what we're going to look to do is sort of set it up as well. So people that sign up to the certain levels of subscriptions there will also get access to the WhatsApp group as well. So we want to be very, very respectful in relation to that. Blue Viper here says, imagine being stuck behind City 8 years. Okay. There we go. That's you guys arguing with each other. I thought it was a comment to me. And Mr. Chowdhury here says, Terry, who do you think will go through today, Wales or Denmark? I think Denmark will do it, but I want Wales to. I know that I kind of tweeted out I want Denmark to win it after the Christian Eriksen thing, but because of family members of mine and my uncle that's no longer with us, my late uncle that passed, he was Welsh, passionate Wales fan, and it's always a very emotional day for me personally when Wales play any sport, because he was such a good sportsman himself. He was a wonderful man. My uncle, he really was. He was a teacher. He was a PE teacher. He was a great guy. Do you know how great he was and humble he was as a man? We only found a story out about him at his funeral. So many, many years back, one of his students, very good athlete, his family was struggling because his father had lost his job, and at that time his mother wasn't working. It was in that kind of era where majority of mums from working class families stayed at home. At that point, she might have had like a part-time job, but she wasn't working, so out of money, there's not a lot going on. And it was I think the Christmas Eve, or maybe the day before Christmas Eve, and like a truck turned up outside the house, and there's a delivery that was made, and there was food for Christmas dinner, there was a few presents for the kids, and there was about a month's supply of coal to burn in the fireplace so that they could keep the house warm during obviously December and the early part of January, when it was going to be very, very difficult for him to find new work. So food for Christmas, some presents, and some coal. But he spoke to the family and said, look, it's from me, but don't tell anyone. Even family members like myself had no idea that he'd done this until after he died. And this was sort of like 25, 30 years later. I think it just shows the measure of a person to do great deeds without having to tell everybody that I just did great deeds. And yeah, so just not for that reason only, but for lots of reasons with my uncle, Richard, or Dick as we called him. Yeah, I want Wales to win for that reason. One of the most beautiful men, one of the kindest people that you could ever meet in your life, and he was a Welshman and big fan of sport. So yeah, I want Wales to win for him. 110%. I want him to win for him. Let's have a little comment. I'll go here. I want Danny to score today. Get in Wales. Yeah, I'd love that to happen. Appreciate everything you do, Terry, especially with transfer rumors. Do you know what it is with the transfers? It's just it's not even keeping you guys informed. You can all go and read the same things as me. Of course, I've got a little bit of access now to some journalists and things like this that we have on the shows that helps, a bit of background, in the football finance world. So I understand how a bit of that works. But it's just about trying to aggregate things and bring things together and keep people calm. I see like the Grealish thing. I respect what Jim White said. I respect what Fabrizio said. Let's read between the lines here and use our heads. How do we know what's going on? Look at the patterns and what goes on within transfers every day, every year for the past 2 decades since transfer windows have grown. You can read the patterns. It's almost like seeing the Matrix to understand what's going on. That's the way it works. But thank you very much indeed. Good luck from an England fan there. Thank you very much indeed. News about Ronaldo. I don't necessarily think there is any right now. I don't think there is. I haven't read any. I haven't seen any or anything along those lines. Gunnar King says, I really want Wales to win. I lived in Cardiff for 4 years. Sorry for your loss with your uncle, by the way. They are super passionate sporting nation when it comes to football and rugby. They are. They're very passionate, and of course the Danes are very passionate as well. But it just becomes about what's close to home, what feels. Often with sport, I support what gets me in the heart is who I support. And yeah, Wales have a place in my heart because that's the thing with the home nations thing. As an Englishman, I've never been against home nations because I've got friends and family, close friends and family that are from those particular parts of the world. I find it difficult to, I want them to lose. I just don't. Ireland's a great example, whether it's the North or the Republic, or, when it comes to rugby, it's all Ireland. So it's the same thing. It's just the case. My son's half Irish, so I never want Ireland to do bad at anything because of my son. Like, why would I want that? It's just not how I am as a person. Can't do it. I just heard someone say yes, Gal. That must mean a gal's in the chat somewhere. Man like a gal in the house. How you doing? Hey, Reese. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. But listen, that brings us to the end of our stream today. We're back live after the knockout games later on today, which I'm very, very excited about indeed. When you're finished watching here on YouTube, please click on the stream, the link below for our Twitch account and go and sign up for that. We can go and get, 500 of you go and sign up over there right now. That would be absolutely amazing for us. It truly, truly would. Make sure you've subscribed to the Football Terrace here on YouTube as well. You turn on that bell notification button. But until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless you.